Hey, yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for tuning into this episode of World of Tanks. You're looking for a code. The code is going to show up there. Appreciate you coming by if that's all you're here for, but I've got a good video coming up right after this where I'm going to talk about the current TD RD camp meta. It's getting bad, folks, and I think we need to start talking about it, all right? So, thanks to Nando Capo for sending you guys over here. Tomorrow you're going to Sir 8J. Tomorrow over to Sir 8J. Again, thanks to Nando Capo. Appreciate it. The code is up above right there. I've got a good game illustrating what I think is becoming a bit of a metastasized problem. And that is the very campy nature, especially at Tier 10, with TDs and artillery involved. This is a game with 7 TDs, 2 artillery on Fisherman's Bay. And it's a great example. It ends up being a really good game, but it really does illustrate basically how the games generally flow at Tier 10. It's almost always the same story unless you get a very good wolf pack of aggressive players. Otherwise, you're in for a very campy slog, trying to break hard camps by TDs and getting blapped by artillery. So here we go. Hope you appreciate the video. You should appreciate the video. I'm not editing that. Hope you enjoy the video. How about that? Leave your comments down below as well. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about that. Whether I'm seeing things or it's maybe not as big a problem as I think it is. I do appreciate the back and forth and discussions. So maybe I'll learn something. Hopefully you will as well. And we will see you. Enjoy the video. And appreciate it, okay? Hey, yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in. I've got an interesting one here for you. It ends up being a good game for Ziggurat. Clanless, a Ronin. He sent this in and said, hey, best scout NA. I guess if you need to do, what is it, light tank 15, use a medium. Of course you can't, but I get it. He is here on Fisherman's Bay and has spawned into the north, and I watched this because he gets a bunch of spotting out of this. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at this video and see how he got it. Because I'm kind of curious, actually, on Fisherman's Bay. I had a stream the other day about this. It's not really a very easy map to get spotting on, despite having some really good bush lines. It's just the way it's set up. It's hard to really dig out the campers without getting right up underneath and into them. But let's watch how this develops, because I'm also going to comment as we go on the current state of the game and the cancerous TD meta / artillery act that is going on right now. And it is getting worse and worse in the game. And I don't know what the fix is, to be quite honest. You know, we introduced wheeled tanks, I think, to try to help that, because the wheeled tanks can get back there and get some spotting, and it does on occasion help that out. You'll notice there aren't any wheeled tanks, I don't think, in this whole battle. But look at the TDs. Look at the TD. You have to actually be kidding me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TDs on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TDs on the other side. 2 giant artillery. That's 9 of the 15 slots, either artillery or TDs. And this is not unusual anymore. It is not unusual. This is an all tier 10 battle. So every one of those TDs hits like a ton of bricks, except for perhaps the 103B, the Sturv, but it fires every 4.0 seconds, whatever it is, at what, 400 alpha, something to that extent. So Zig has come up to the middle. So let's just look at this deployment. This is fantastic. This is what you get when your game is full of TDs and artillery. This is the deployments that we get. A couple brave souls are forward. Some heavies are hiding from everything in the buildings. This map in particular was completely ruined when they changed all this, and they made sniper death lines up here. Another one over here in these bushes. This sniper death position up here, and really no way to push for heavies. Plus the artillery, plus the giant TDs. We got all these guys hiding in the buildings, unable to push. All these guys hiding up here in the sniper position. And like I said, 3 brave souls forward, attempting to play a tank game. It's awesome, man. It is awesome. Let's see how this thing develops. Because when we get to the end of it, and Zig has his good day, it's just really going to illustrate the problems with this kind of gameplay and meta. And the entire game really is like this, especially at this tier. Now, how does that change? If the team makeups are a lot more mediums, then you can get wolf packs, and very good players can break these kind of heavy camps. As a general rule, camps are much weaker than good players maneuvering, but the problem is getting teamwork moving like that is very difficult. And if you get a setup of just tons of TDs, it's very difficult. So you don't have really the teamwork, you don't have enough mediums to do it. And in the case of a game that's set up like this, you're just going to get a very campy, passive game. Good on the 50-51 and the K91, attempting to give all those TDs sitting in the corner something to shoot at. Zig's kind of hanging out here. He's got 727 assists so far, 445 on the damage, and he's taken a hit. He's being countered right now by the TVP 50-51 of the enemy team. And look, there's a push going on. Okay, interesting. So there is an enemy push going on. Let's talk about that. What usually happens in a game like this with this many guns, with this good of accuracy? It's not, my English is terrible there. But in general, at tier 10, everything's quite accurate. Even the inaccurate TDs are really quite accurate. What happens when people push in situations like that, generally? Well, they get wrecked, don't they? They get torn up. So let's see how that push happens down there. They are getting into a weaker force. The 277 and the IS-7 are not in good shape down there, especially now that the enemy has aggressive TDs. Okay, good on them. We have aggressive TDs moving in. Zig's watching this happen. He's got Unspotted, who has apparently been spotted a couple times because he's taken some damage in there. The enemy team has countered a little bit the 50-51, but that's stagnated. It's just a series of sniper shots from giant TDs and artillery biscuits being dropped on the poor 277. He's spotted. He's not long for the game. He'll eventually die in there, more than likely. The 50-51, apparently Unspotted, is now spotted. Takes him out. 277 is trying to figure out how he's going to live. The GW100 is probably dropping biscuits on him. The 261's out of position to hit the 277 and has decided that he does not want to face that push and is now bailing out. So there's just one IS-7. The 261 is smartly running away. The GW100 won't last long. And now we see that Zig is doing what you generally do when you're starting to lose on a flank. You bail out of positions that are no longer tenable. You fall back and you attempt to defend from further back and get closer to your guns. So we've got the Grille, the 268, another Grille, a 103, a JPZ 100. Is that what's up there? I mean, look at... it's just... Now, if the enemy can get up under there and set up a sniper line in the middle of the map, they can probably have a pretty good time tearing these guys up. The 4005 has declined to surrender or retreat, so he's hanging out. The TVP gets out of there. They ended up getting the 277 dead, like I said would happen. Then the poor 50-51 is out of hit points, so he'll get splashed and killed. So is the FV. The FV is just about done as well. I wouldn't expect either one of them to last too much longer. Nice shot right there by our hero Ziggurat. And now, what have we here? Well, what we have is an aggressive team attempting to push into an absolutely asinine amount of TDs in bushes in a corner. Let's see how that goes for them. Let's see how that goes for them. Here they come. Good on them. We are the aggressive team. We're going to come in. Zig wisely decides not to shoot. He's got him spotted. Somebody will hit this guy, maybe. No, there's an artillery. Didn't quite get him. Another shot goes in. Oh, there's somebody else to shoot. Another aggressive TD. I don't know if the Grille doesn't know he's lit or what his deal is. Or maybe he thinks he's gone unlit, but we got some nice spotting going on. Here comes a 110. He cannot be defeated. All that armor. Look at him piling in there. He's going after him. We got Zig looking around. This one... This guy's just dun, 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 coming at him. Look, the Grille even is coming in. Oh, well, that was foolish. He just lost 1,097 from the other Grille. I assume that was HE. And down he goes. Goodbye. Double tapped. Attempting to push into a massive sniper's nest of TDs. And really, this is where we are, guys. This is where we are with the game to a large extent. Most games come down to this. An aggressive team attempts to push in to a bushed up team made mostly of TDs. And people acting like TDs in their heavies, things like that. I don't know what the fix is. I really don't. I'd love to sit here and tell you I know exactly what it is. I I don't know. That may just be what the game is now, based on the timidity of most of the player base, and I don't know if it's that. Are we timid? I don't know. It just gets worse and worse. It really does. Here comes the 430U. He's attempting to get into spotting. At least he realizes I have got to somehow light these guys. If we can't get a light on these guys somehow, there is no way we're going to be able to push into them. And we either pull back and go to our cap, or we sit in our bush back there and hope they move out at some point. 268 died, so good deal. They did find one of them. Now, that's exactly what the 430U was doing. So there's a player who knows what's going on, but now he's tracked and down to his last hit points. Grill takes out the 110 E5, so he's gone. Down, there you go. There's the last spotter, the last of the known spotters in captivity. The 110 E3 is down to 176. He won't survive the 261 taking a shot. Probably won't survive one of the other TDs taking a thump at him. He's been lit the whole time. I imagine he has no idea that he's lit. There you go. And we're up to 6,403 spotting, 574. And these are fun games on occasion. I do feature them when I do them as well. And it's fun to sit there and watch the enemy team just disintegrate. But that's how it always is now. That's the entirety of the game just about. And that's not really fun. The maneuver, the chess game part of the game is really diminished when you're dealing with tier 10 TDs that hit this hard and are this accurate. And this has always been my argument against tier 10 in general. It's a reason I don't like tier 10 very much. This is the kind of thing that happens. But we see that bleed down to, all the way down to tier 8 or so. Tier 5 and 6 tend to not be like that because the tanks don't have the same capabilities. It's still campy, but my goodness, when you get to tier 10, unless you are on that team that has a lot of very good medium players or fast, heavy players who can wolfpack and overpower a flank and then create those situations where the TDs can't sit in bushes, unless you have something like that, this is what you will get every time. And it's just unbelievable. This poor team, the red team, pushed in, and you might go, well, that's their fault. They're too bad for them. They pushed in. They're a bunch of losers. Well, okay, but that's it. That's the gameplay at tier 10. This is it. This is the entirety of it. The dearth, plethora, majority, whatever you want to call it, of TDs, people sitting in bushes. And how do we get there? Well, people get punished. They play their mediums and heavies, and they find out that giant TD, very accurate, hard-hitting TDs in bushes take you out. And they go, well, I want to stop being taken out. So I'm going to do the thing that takes me out all the time. And there they go. They're all sitting in their TDs. At least the enemy team was a bit aggressive with it, but they're just getting rocked at this point. The K91's going over. It looks like maybe we start firing. There we go. And that's when you start taking those shots. A great example from Zig on that this is now down to the end, and doesn't have a lot of worry about being spotted. And even if he does, it probably doesn't really matter. The JPZ was on the run anyway. More than likely, this Foch is not going to see him, and this poor thing's just getting absolutely massacred. K91's keeping him just about perma-tracked. Then kills him, and now we're just going to go hunt down the last stragglers, while finally our TDs move off of the sniper spot and go after the rest of these guys. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if there is a fix. Probably not. I really believe at tier 10, it's just, I've always said tier 10 is a bit of a shit show, guys. It really is. The game mechanics just break down at tier 10. The maps are too small. The vision is too good. Everything can see too far. Everything is too accurate. Hits too hard. All those things come together, and that's what I mean by the mechanics breaking down. The mechanics that make tier 5, 6, 7, and to a large extent 8 really fun. When you get to 10, you've minimized so much of them that it's a different game at tier 10. And to me, it just turns into a series of breaking hard camps with TDs, and that gets really frustrating if you're the aggressive team. It gets really frustrating if you're the aggressive team and you're trying to pick apart these hard camps and you don't have that good core of fast, medium good players doing it, it ends up being just walking in one after another into giant TDs and artillery just blasting the crap out of you from hidden spots. And it's interesting because I think a lot of players poo-poo that, and we always have people come to the forum and say, well, I'm tired of being killed by invisi tanks. Well, to a large extent, that's true. I think because it happens, and I'm seeing it happen more and more with this TD meta and the backup of all the artillery and the stunning and everything else. I've said it 3 or 4 times. I don't know what the fix is. Well, if you're going to come with a complaint, you usually need to have a fix. I'm not sure, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe bigger maps for tier 10, maybe less vision. I don't know, maybe a vision rework of some kind. Man, it's hard to tell. Let me know what you think down below. Just getting a little bit of frustration off my chest. I thought this was a great example for it, though. It was a great game. Ziggurat did awesome. 4 kills, 2,344 damage, 7,088 assist. A patrol duty in a medium. It was pretty cool. It was well played. He did the right thing. There's nothing taking away from any of that on his gameplay. It's just, is that what we want to do? A couple mediums go out and maybe see some things, then we run back in a bush and we spot and we kill everything as they push. That appears to be the general gist of what we do. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it, and we will see you.